what could be more magical than witnessing the journey of new life? Join us as we follow Lai Tu Sam and Officer Lee through the most beautiful chapter of their love story, their first pregnancy. From the joyful discovery of carrying a baby girl to the tender moments of preparing a warm, loving home, and finally the emotional countdown to her birth. Their days are filled with laughter, curiosity, and unshakable devotion. This is not just a story of waiting, but of celebrating every heartbeat. Subscribe now to our channel and experience this heartwarming journey of family and love. From the very first moment Lee Tu Sam discovered that she was carrying their first daughter, her heart blossomed with a joy she had never known before. The news felt like a miracle, a gift from heaven that would forever change her life and the rhythm of her small family. Every morning, as she placed her hands gently on her growing belly, she could not help but smile with tender wonder, whispering softly to the tiny life inside as if the baby could already hear her mother's voice. Her eyes, once bright, now glowed even more with a gentle radiance, sparkling with the anticipation of motherhood and the warmth of love that seemed to overflow from her very being. By her side, Officer Lee became more than just a protector of the community, he transformed into the guardian of their family's happiness. With every step Sam took, he was there, steady, caring, and deeply attentive. He noticed the little things, like how she craved certain foods at odd hours, or how she sometimes grew tired after only a short walk. He would quietly prepare her favorite meals, remind her to rest, and reassure her that she was never alone in this journey. To him, every small detail of her pregnancy was a chapter in a story worth cherishing, a story they were writing together as husband and wife, soon to become father and mother. Each time their baby kicked or shifted inside her womb, Sam would let out a gasp of delight, her eyes shining as she called Lee to feel it too. The first flutter was like a secret between mother and child, but soon it became a shared treasure for both parents. Lee would place his strong hand gently on her belly, his usually firm features softening with awe and tenderness. In those moments, time seemed to stand still. The outside world with all its worries faded away, leaving only the sacred bond of three souls connected by love. They would laugh, sometimes even cry tears of joy, realizing that they were not only dreaming of their daughter, but already living the miracle of her presence. Sam often imagined what their little girl would look like, whether she would inherit Lee's determined eyes or her own gentle smile. These thoughts filled her with sweet anticipation, like waiting for a long-awaited sunrise. And Lee, though a man of discipline and strength, confessed in quiet moments that he was already in love with his daughter, promising to protect her with the same devotion he gave to Sam. Together, they embraced each day with gratitude, knowing that the journey of pregnancy was not just about waiting, but about celebrating every heartbeat, every smile, and every hope for the life they were about to welcome. As the months passed, and Sam's belly grew rounder with each passing day, the atmosphere in their home began to transform into one of eager preparation and joyful anticipation. Their love for their daughter was no longer just a dream, it was becoming tangible, woven into every corner of their lives. Lee, who once spent long nights patrolling the streets with unwavering determination, now devoted his quiet evenings to creating a haven for the little one they both longed to hold. He carefully painted the nursery a soft shade of blush pink, his hands surprisingly gentle for a man so used to carrying weapons and enforcing order. Each brushstroke carried his silent promise of tenderness and protection, while Sam sat nearby, smiling at him with eyes full of pride and affection. Sam herself found immense joy in preparing the tiniest details for their daughter's arrival. She would spend long afternoons sewing delicate baby clothes, her fingers moving with patience and love. Each stitch was more than just fabric coming together. It was the embodiment of her hopes, her dreams, and her quiet prayers for her child's future. Sometimes, as she folded the little dresses and arranged them in drawers, she would pause to imagine her daughter wearing them, giggling and running into her arms. Those tender daydreams made her heart swell until it felt almost too full. Their family, too, became part of this beautiful journey. Both sets of grandparents frequently visited, their faces lit up with excitement as they showered Sam with nourishing foods and heartfelt blessings. They fussed over her well-being, reminding her to eat, to rest, and to cherish these moments, all while secretly counting down to meet their first granddaughter. The home was filled with laughter. Joyful, unrestrained laughter that wrapped around them like a warm embrace. Conversations often drifted into playful debates about who the baby would resemble, whose personality she might inherit, and who would spoil her the most. Every corner of their house reflected the happiness of a family preparing to grow. A crib stood ready by the window, adorned with soft blankets Sam had chosen with care. Little toys, stuffed animals, and picture books began to fill the shelves, waiting to be loved by tiny hands. The once quiet evenings were now alive with warmth, Sam humming lullabies as she rested, Lee reading aloud bedtime stories even before their baby could hear the words, as if laying the foundation of comfort and love she would soon know. Together, they built more than just a nursery. They built a sanctuary of love, a place where their daughter would be surrounded not only by soft colors and gentle fabrics, but also by the unwavering devotion of a family united in joy. As the final weeks of pregnancy approached, a tender mix of excitement and gentle nervousness filled their days. Sam could feel her daughter moving more vividly now, each little kick and stretch a reminder that the miracle they had been waiting for was drawing closer with every sunrise. At night, when the house grew quiet, she would place both hands on her belly, smiling as the baby responded with a soft flutter. Sometimes she whispered stories about the world outside, about the love that awaited her, and about the father who was already her greatest protector. These moments, though fleeting, felt like secret conversations between mother and child, weaving an invisible bond that grew stronger each day. Lee, though trained to face the harshest dangers of life, found himself uncharacteristically tender during this time. He would kneel beside Sam, resting his ear against her belly as if trying to catch the rhythm of his daughter's tiny heartbeat. His voice, usually firm and commanding, softened into a melody of love when he spoke to the little one. He told her about his dreams for her, about the safe and happy life he promised to provide. On many evenings, he would read fairy tales aloud, his deep voice filling the room with warmth, while Sam closed her eyes and imagined their daughter drifting to sleep in the future to the very same stories. Every passing day deepened their sense of wonder. They wondered whose eyes the baby would inherit, whether she would laugh like her mother or show the same determined spirit as her father. They often found themselves laughing together at these speculations, their curiosity adding a playful spark to their anticipation. The closer the due date came, the more they cherished these lighthearted conversations, as if they were painting the first strokes of their daughter's identity before meeting her. The nights became sacred rituals of love, Sam resting against Lee's shoulder while he traced gentle circles on her hand, whispering reassurances that everything would be fine. He promised her that no matter how challenging the delivery might be, he would stand by her side, holding her hand through every moment. His words were not just vows, they were the anchor that steadied her heart whenever anxiety threatened to creep in. For both of them, This waiting period was not filled with impatience, but with gratitude. They understood that the journey itself was a treasure, a time of learning, dreaming, and deepening their bond as partners and parents to be. And as they looked ahead, hearts overflowing with joy and curiosity, they knew that the moment they finally held their daughter would be the most beautiful chapter of their love story yet.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Bí Sử Sam Review. Rất vui vì ngày hôm nay lại được gặp lại các bạn trong tập phim ngày hôm nay. Vậy là trong tập phim ngày hôm nay chúng ta đã được chứng kiến hành trình mang thai đầy hạnh phúc của gia đình cảnh sát Ni và Lý Tử Sam từ quá trình cô Út bắt đầu mang thai đến gần ngày sinh. Đó là một hành trình đầy yêu thương và chứa được sự tò mò về bé gái sắp sửa được chào đời là kết tinh tình yêu của Sam và cảnh sát Nhi. Liệu rằng bé gái có được an toàn chào đời hay không, tất cả sẽ được hé lộ và các tập tiếp theo sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh. Các bạn đừng quên hãy bấm vào nút đăng ký kênh và nhớ bấm nút like, chia sẻ và để lại bình luận ở dưới video nhé. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn vào các tập sau. Bye bye.